around the time of discovery. So it was you guys, huh? You're the ones who found my secret getaway tunnel. You know how long it took me to dig that freaking thing? I had me a guard uniform, a hole dug, and a plan in place, so I went for it on the day you found the guy. But then this little guy just had to come right after me. The sack of fur was covered in mud too, had to go back to our cell. He was jumping on him like this. I guess he got his face. I would have got away with it if somebody hadn't offed tonight and brought you bums down there. You claim to have dug that tunnel just now. How exactly did you do it? How? Used everything I could get my hands on. See? Hammers, spoons, you name it. Spent every dime I had on this cockamamie fixer. And what do I got to show for it now, huh? Hee hee hee. Do not be disheartened, friend. Tomorrow is another day. There's an outside chance Mr. Carcerado and Knight met face to face just before Knight's death. I should see what other details I can extract from him. You guys, you're the ones who found my secret getaway tunnel, yep. You know how long it took me to dig that? I had me a guard uniform, a hole dug, and a plan. Press.
Hold it!
The uniform, was that from the fixer too? Uh-huh, sure was. Heard he had something on one of the guards. Had the guy swipe it from a pal's locker. And were you wearing it while you were crawling through the tunnel? Nope. Would've got dirt on it. Had to hold on to it till I got to the holding cell. But once I was out of there and all dressed up, opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake. Here we go, I think. Freedom beckons. And then this furball here jumps after me. Which would be the moment captured on camera. I see. I'd be grateful if you could add that to your testimony. So Mr. Knight was already out of the cell at that point. Once I was out of the tunnel and all dressed up, opening the cell should have been a piece of cake, which I assume would be with the cell key. We have that in here somewhere, right? Yeah. The guard was attacked, and his keys, including the one in the Knight's studs, were stolen. They have yet to be recovered.
Objection!
You claim that leaving the holding cell would have been a piece of cake, as you put it? Yeah, you got a problem with that? Because we can make it a problem if you catch my drift. Even once you had reached Knight's cell, you still had another door to contend with. How exactly did you plan on opening it? Mr. Carcerado, I posit that leaving the cell would have been a piece of cake only because you had the key. I don't got no stinking key. I didn't need one. It was a piece of cake because the door was open. I walked right out. Yes, I suppose Knight's cell was vacant by that point. There would have been no reason to lock it. And it was indeed unlocked when I went to examine it for myself, so perhaps when you'd finally succeeded today, it truly was unlocked because it was after the murder. But you had attempted to escape previously. Yeah, the security footage shows when you tried and failed because Teddy caught you, which was during the circus performance before the body was discovered. The holding cell was still locked at that time because no one knew that Knight had been killed yet. Therefore, you must have had the key to his cell on you. Without it, your escape would not have been possible. Are you saying, could he really have? I believe he could, yes. The theft of the key was in fact perpetrated by none other than Mr. Carcerado. He is the one who attacked the guard. But not just the guard, Knight too, all to gain possession of the guard's keys. It wasn't me, you lousy bum. I didn't even know this Knight guy. After you stole the keys, you went back to your cell to avoid suspicion, and then you waited for the perfect moment to escape. A moment when the prison would be almost deserted. That's right, the moment of the show, just before the discovery of the body. Unlucky for you, that particular attempt was thwarted by your furry friend. Says who, huh? You got proof, genius? This ain't your win yet, nah. Knight knocked the guard out for the count, and everybody knows it. Don't play games with me. Knight was as much a victim as the guard in this case. As a matter of fact, I have proof that Knight had been attacked in his cell. Right there, he's dead. He was clearly attacked. The blood in the cell? Yeah.
Take that!
We found traces of Knight's blood on the cleanly wiped floor of his cell. What could possibly explain such a thing other than him having been attacked? And when it was you who attacked him, you ambushed them both and stole the keys. I hope the bear gets mad at me too. He really loves this guy. Why, I oughta. What's with you, huh? That newspaper wiped the blood up good. Ain't no way you should have found it. Okay, but why did you think you had to wipe it up anyway? If they checked Knight in the guard's hands, they would have seen that those two never came to blows. But that blood give up the whole game. Ain't no way they don't figure there was a third man in the ring. Plus, once they started sniffing around on the floor, they'd find the tunnel in a heartbeat. So you wiped up the blood to buy yourself a little more time so you could wait for a better opportunity. Sadly, the opportunity you sought wasn't good enough to get you clear out of the prison, it seems. Now hand over the keys. Right. I like the slow-mo. Oh. KO'd by a lousy, stinking bum. Fine, you want the keys here. I hope you choke on them. Yay, we got them back, guys.
Overruled.
Wait a moment. If Mr. Crosserato here had the keys... Indeed, Your Honor. Your theory relies on Knight having used the keys he allegedly stole to escape his cell. That was the only way he would have been able to enter Mr. Saint's cage and be moved to the workshop. Unfortunately for you, we now know that that theory cannot possibly be true. No! Guess this changes things up a bit, yeah? Now the only person who could have moved Knight's body is the one person who knew about that tunnel. No, you gotta be freaking... Mr. Carcerado, you're under arrest. Come quietly now, pal. Wait, you got the wrong guy, I didn't do nothing. Alright, fine. I knocked those two chumps out, and I stole the keys. But after that, I went right back to my cell and waited for my moment. Next time I went to Knight's cell, there was nobody around, and I mean nobody. Plus, his body was found in the workshop. You think I just magicked my way in there or something? I couldn't have even gotten out of my cell. Indeed, you only had the key to Knight's cell. You couldn't have left your own cell back in the prison. But Mr. Canis's dog could. What? It was not you, but Helmut who moved the body from your cell to the workshop. I get it now, you're saying he wasn't the only con in this conspiracy. Indeed, one can easily imagine that Mr. Carcerado and Mr. Canis might have worked together. Mr. Carcerado could have killed Knight and dragged him back to his cell, and then Mr. Canis's dog took him from there to the workshop. There are no restrictions on the animal's movements within the prison. Movement between the detention center and the prison proper, however, is tightly controlled. There was only one possible route, and only you could have taken advantage of it, Mr. Carcerado. How can you be so sure, huh? Maybe there's more of them and you just don't know. Something tells me that digging even a single tunnel was arduous enough. You got that right. You try scrapping more than one hole in the dirt with a spoon. Lucky for me, I didn't have to dig the whole way. Somebody already did a bunch of the work for me. What? You didn't dig the entire tunnel yourself? Nope, found it when they put me in that cell. Ran all the way from the well in the yard already. Even looked down the well to check from there. It was the same tunnel, alright. I just made it go on what somebody else would have already started. But what was the original tunnel for? Who knows? You're the one with all the answers, pal. Maybe somebody else tried to break out? Oh, or maybe the animals dug it. Like to get water from the well or something? I've heard of more plausible scenarios than that in B-grade movies, Kay. Well's dry, kid. Ain't no water to be had down there. Though, come to think of it, a smell. Yeah, always smelled kinda nice down there. Nice? Gee, I don't know. Smelled sorta like dessert, I guess. A sweet scent. That sounds very familiar. Where did we come across the sweet scent before? Wasn't it on the body? Killed instantly by a stab wound to the throat, there is also a small cut on his scalp from when he suffered a blow to the head. A sweet scent can be detected.
Take that!
Detective Gumshoe noticed a sweet smell when we were examining Knight's body. With the help of a police dog, we followed the scent of the body and traced its roots back through the prison. And that, Mr. Crosserado, is how we found your tunnel. Could that same sweet scent be what you noticed coming from the well? Very clever, Mr. Edgeworth. You mean to suggest that this is evidence of the body having been moved through the tunnel? I do. Furthermore, Mr. Carcerata, you are the only person who could have done it. Nobody else had access. You have our thanks, Mr. Carcerata. Truly. Finally the truth comes into view. Now, unburden yourself, it is time. Confess your role in this tragic incident. What? You ain't pinning this on me. I'm glad to see that we are finally in agreement, Your Honor. Oh, if only we were, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Crosserado may have been an accomplice, but not of Mr. Canis. No, he was working with Mr. Knight.
Hold it!
What do you mean? I do not believe that he moved Mr. Knight's body. Instead, I believe that he lent Mr. Knight the use of the keys he stole. You gotta be kidding me. Granted, it seems likely that he attacked Mr. Knight, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Mr. Knight was knocked unconscious as a result. And what if he wasn't? What if he and Mr. Carcerado had reached a certain agreement? What kind of agreement exactly? Mr. Knight was plotting an escape for which he required a means of leaving his cell. And here was that precise means in the form of the keys Mr. Carcerado had just stolen from the guard. Mr. Carcerado himself would need to pass through Mr. Knight's cell in order to effect his own escape. Mr. Knight needed only to shout and alert the guards, and Mr. Carcerado's plan would have been ruined. And so, the two struck a deal. Lady, the only striking I do with is my fist. My, still you deny it. So, we're agreeing that we still disagree. Mr. Knight had Mr. Carcerado unlock his cell so that when Mr. Saint arrived, he could escape into the cage. Mr. Saint was then able to move him into the prison proper just as planned. Aha! And then he took Mr. Knight into the workshop and did the dirty deed. Were neither of you listening? The scent on Mr. Knight's body proves that it was taken through the tunnel. It was moved from the cell to the overruled. Perhaps if you would let me finish, Mr. Edgeworth. I am not denying that Mr. Knight's body was moved through the tunnel. Then what are you driving at? Is that a trick question? As you say, Mr. Edgeworth, the sweet scent shows the route the body took. However, it did not enter the tunnel from Mr. Knight's cell. And how did it get down there? There's another possibility, one you seem to have overlooked. The well in the yard. Could a body not have entered the tunnel from there? The well in the yard? Oh yeah, that thing. Mr. Saint did not take the cage to the workshop, he took it outside. There he killed Mr. Knight, and threw his body down the well. Mr. Canis's dog then dragged Mr. Knight's body here to his owner's cell from the bottom of the well. On that note, I would ask you to recall something. What was happening in the yard at the approximate time of the body's discovery? The circus show, right? Regina and Simeon were performing for everyone. Wait, Simeon? Ah, indeed. And so you see how it must have been him who disposed of the body. Judge Gavelle is a truly formidable opponent. She so effortlessly adjusted her theory to fit the facts. I propose that Mr. Knight was taken to the yard, not the workshop, and as we established, Mr. Saint was off stage for 15 minutes, ample time to throw the body down the well, I am sure you will agree. Your deduction is impressive, Your Honor. However, even supposing the Knight's body was indeed thrown down the well, you cannot conclusively say that it was during the show. It could have happened at a different time. My sympathies, Mr. Edgeworth, but it simply could not have. What? Mr. Carcerado was using the tunnel at around the time the show began. Mr. Carcerado, did you happen to trip over a corpse while you were down there? No, place was clean. If the body had been at the bottom of the well before the show began, Mr. Carcerado would have seen it. However, he saw no such thing. which makes it somewhat difficult to support your theory. Furthermore, Mr. Knight's body was discovered in the workshop after the show. In summary, the body must have been thrown down the well and moved to the workshop. At some point during the show. Tell me, who else could have done that but Mr. Saint? What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? If the body did indeed enter the tunnel from the well, things don't look good for Mr. Saint, still. Your Honor, your theory is still just that, a theory. And I posit that you lack the evidence to back it up. I concede that, for the moment, I do not. May I suggest that we investigate the yard again? Very well. May the Goddess of Justice go with you. Now then, to the yard. Perhaps we can finally put this case to rest. What's that sound? Yikes, is there a fire? Did somebody else escape? Should we maybe skip town too? Darlings, please, there's nothing to be alarmed about. By which I mean, that's not an alarm, it's the dinner bell. Although I suppose it is rather alarming if you weren't used to it. It certainly scared the heck out of me. I'm so sorry, Sweet Pea, I hope you can forgive us. Alright, you two, back to your posts, chop chop. Is no one going to take Dude to a cell? Or perhaps a new cell that doesn't have a hole in it? And as for you, Carcerado, it's time you went back to your room. Fine, I get the picture. Come on, Teddy, we're out of here. Lord LaGuardia, we'd like to take one more look around the yard now. Oh, darlings, don't you have homes of your own to go to? Visiting hours are over, Did you kill him? Is that why you don't want us snooping around? Visiting hours are over, I'm afraid. Tomorrow, No, it's imperative that we investigate it right away. I think we've had quite enough excitement for one day, don't you? Murderers, escapees, so eventful. It's time our guests went home to Betty Buys, isn't it? Yes, yes it is. Come now, darlings, don't make me bore you with all that. I am the warden. This is an order nonsense. Warden LaGuardia is right. Her word is law here, and we must respect her wishes. Mr. Edgeworth, your investigation of the yard will have to wait until tomorrow. You may keep your badge for now. The matter of your standing can wait. I bid you all good day. What are you waiting for, kittykins? Off you go. Fine, at least there is a tomorrow for me. Judge Gavel believes that Knight's body was dropped down the well, and then taken through Mr. Carcerato's cell to the workshop. But is that truly the case? Do the facts really support her theory? She also seems to believe that Mr. Saint had to be the one to move the body. But was he really the only one with the opportunity to do so? Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, tomorrow's another day. We'll figure out a way to save Simeon. I know we will. Yes, we will. I will prove that Mr. Saint is innocent beyond a shadow of a doubt. To be continued. Yes, I will save. Next day. Here we are again. Let's hope we can find something this time that will finally reveal the truth behind it all. Although that might be easier said than done. There's nothing left to investigate. Judge Gavel's deduction yesterday. There's another possibility, one you seem to have overlooked. The well in the yard. Could a body not have entered the tunnel from there? In summary, the body must have been thrown down the well and moved to the workshop. At some point during the show. Tell me, who else could have done that but Mr. Saint? Had Knight's body really been thrown down the well? The answer to that question will surely show us the way forward. Before we begin, I should tidy up my organizer a little bit. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Let's see here. Huh. There's a cover on it. A dried-up well slap bang in the middle of a prison, figured to be locked. Well, luckily, I'm a master lockpicker. Want me to do my stuff? I think we'll not. We'll do this investigation by the book. Come on, don't be such a stick in the mud. Whoa! It is okay. The lock's broken. And from the looks of it, it's been broken for a long time. If that's the case, then anyone could have thrown Knight's body down the well. Judge Gavel's theory was that Mr. Saint carried out the murder here in the yard, and then during the performance he threw the body down the well. Wouldn't the autopsy have revealed, like, what's it called, like, damage from the fall? What are you thinking, Malzerino? Plausible or no? Oh, why don't we see if Missile can help us out again? He'll be able to tell us if Mr. Knight's body was here and which way it went. Good idea, I'll call Detective Gumshoe. Gumshoe speaking. Detective, I need your assistance. Come to the prison yard and bring Missile with you. You bet, sir. Gumshoe's 7 secret weapons to the rescue again. I'm fairly certain Missile belongs to the precinct. I'd also like you to bring one of our witnesses. Call the Berry Big Circus and ask Miss Regina Berry to come down here with you. Yes, sir. I'll be there before you know it. So, what shall we do while we're waiting for Gummy? How about a quick game of hide-and-go-seek? Fun idea, kiddo. Where exactly would we hide? He's not seriously considering it. Your game can wait, Kay. We need to call on one of your more practical skills. I think you know the one. Oh, you bet I do. One crime scene recreation coming right up. Say what now? Let me show you. Introducing a great thief's great secret weapon, Little Thief. Whoa! Screens appearing from thin air. This is some next level tech, little sis. Want to talk me through the deets? What are you doing now? I'm inputting everything we need for the simulation. Allow me to explain. This is Mr. Thief. It's a device that can recreate crime scenes at specific moments in time based on the data you feed it. How about I start us off with a recreation of what the yard looked like yesterday? Good idea. That was when they were in the middle of tearing down the stage. We didn't pay much attention to the wall then. Who knows, we may have overlooked something. Leave it to me, I'll use the photo I took. Beepity beep, boop, beep. That's all the data. Just gotta pump the projection power to max, and... Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Yeeps! What is that? It's a recreation of how things were yesterday, modeled on the data I gave Little Thief. This gadget was a tool used by the original Yatagarasu, but they used it to plan robberies. Well, there's no harm in using it for something on the right side of the law now. Oh, but keep in mind, like, it can only recreate what you tell it to. It can't simulate things it doesn't have data for. And if the data itself contains mistakes, then you'll wind up with some mistakes in the recreation too. But this particular recreation is based on case photo, so we shouldn't run into any problems. That's enough preamble. Shall we get started? I guess look around at everything. Don't forget, you can examine stuff in the recreation just like real life. You can also present evidence to try and clear up any inconsistencies you find. Of course, thank you for the reminder. Let's take a look at the well. We should examine this area carefully. Oh, it wouldn't have been dropped if all that stuff was used to lower it down. It's a metal weight of some kind. It looks like it weighs... The projection makes it a little tricky to read. Do you remember how heavy it was, Kay? Sure, it was 30 pounds. What does anyone need such a heavy weight for anyway? It doesn't seem related to the circus show at any rate. Sturdy looking hemp rope lying on the ground. Kinda reminds me of the ropes we used for playing tug-of-war at school. The answer is no, Kay. Well, I didn't even say anything yet. I see it also has a metal stake attached to it on one end. Oh yeah, it looks like something you'd use to pull up a tent. But there was no tent, was there? In which case, what was it used for? What a bunch of pulleys doing here. They don't seem to be well pulleys for lifting buckets. I can't examine the blinky. The well was behind the stage, which means there aren't many people who could have thrown Knight's body down it during the show. This is looking worse and worse for Mr. Saint. So what do you think all the stuff around the well was used for? Okay, the blanket's a part of that. I can't see any of the animals needing them for their part of the performance. Indeed, nothing immediately strikes me out as likely purpose. We'll have to ask Miss Berry later. Was it done? Was I? Oh, okay. I guess I was done. I wanted to see up here. It looks like this was designed for raising and lowering a bucket. No sign of the bucket, though. This is where the circus stage stood. Do you think people will be interested in a great thieving show? I'm sure the police will be very eager to attend. This door appears to be locked. Want me to open it? Can't guarantee anything, but I'll certainly give it a try. No, if we deem it necessary, we will simply ask for the key. Spoil sport, that could have been my chance to shine. You're free to shine somewhere else, but you'll not make an audience out of me. What was the name of our trunk-happy friend again? Azia the Asian Elephant. Or did Miss Berry do it? And have the elephant throw the person down there? Not exactly inspired, though, is it? Was Miss Berry having an off day when she came up with it? Oh my gosh, Mr. Edgeworth, not in front of the people, poor elephant herself. I suspect that's about all there is to find here. Detective Gumshoe should be here soon, too. Kay, can you power down Mr. Thief now? Sure thing. Prepare to return to normality. Sorry, sir. Came as quick as I could. Ah, speak of the devil. Ah, detective, that was indeed impressively quick. You know me, sir. Never did like to keep you waiting. Thanks for coming all the way too, Regina. No problem. This seemed way more fun than rehearsal, so I ditched them for the day. It's very much appreciated. Alright, detective. Let's get started with Missile. Yes, sir. Hey, Missile. Over here, boy. What's the matter? Come on, boy. Come on. What's wrong with him? Looks like he's scared of something, sir. Eek! Alligator! Guess he's not a fan, sir. Sigh. Well, I doubt he'll be of much help to us like this. Any other bright ideas, Miles Areno? Yes, actually. Miss Berry. Would you mind lending us a hand? Oh, I'd love to. Just tell me what you need. You want me to teach Allie some tricks? I don't doubt she could do it, but nothing quite like that. I'd simply like an account of what the yard looked like during the show. I like where this is going. You're thinking of using Little Thief again, am I right? If you'd be so kind. Okay, I plugged in all the data. Firing up the simulation. There you go. This is what the yard was like during the show. The time at which the body was purported to have been thrown down the well. Oh wow, this is so amazing. It's like magic. Yeah, no magic here, just sweet, sweet data. Which is why, the area behind the stage is missing. Yeah, Regina said she wasn't involved in getting the stage set up, so we don't have any data on what it was like back there. No data, no simulation, huh? Brutal. I'm so sorry, you guys. It's all because I let Simeon do everything by himself. Oh, no, it's all my frilly associate's fault. Objection, Fender. Anyway, we've got a fresh simulation now, but we still have the other data, too. I can switch back whenever you want to the recreation of them taking down the stage. So we can examine the scene both during and after the show, and switch between the two at will. I can switch between recreations using T to talk with K. Okay? Now let's investigate this area. So yeah, this is all unknown. Missing some data from this point in time. Yep, that's about the size of it. You gotta go steal us some data. I don't steal data, K. I use logic and deductions to go get what I need. Well, I'm more of an act first, think later gal. Please don't add to my workload with your recklessness. I would hate to have to order your arrest. The story of forbidden love between a tiger and an elephant. Wish I could have seen it. Wish I could have seen Simeon up there on that stage, too. Oh, he was wonderful. The way he flew off that stage. Ah, yes. That scene. His victory is depicted in a very unique manner, whereby the villain is sent flying from the stage. Having been ejected from the stage in this manner, the villain no longer appears in the performance. And you're saying the crime took place during that time. Roughly how long would you say Mr. Saint was off stage for, Miss Berry? Let's see, I guess it was around 15 minutes? Just as Judge Gavel said. Isn't it pretty hairy health and safety-wise, having an elephant fling a guy off stage? I don't know, Azile's very gentle. I'm not sure it changes much if she flings him gently or roughly. Too gentle, in fact, when we first rehearsed it, she barely nudged him. But in the end, he was flying off that stage, not because of a Z, though. Simeon had figured out some kind of trick, apparently. Isn't that amazing? Trick? Oh, the pulley. Do you have any idea what kind of trick? Who, me? Oh no, it was Simeon's big thing. I wouldn't know where to start. He used, like, he used the well. Okay, so there's a rope tied to him, attached to the pulley. When the elephant would attack, the 30-pound weight thingy would drop and, like, yeet him up. This basket was empty in the other recreation. Oh yeah, but it was definitely empty in the photo I took too. Oops, sorry, I made a mistake when I was filling you in earlier. Oh? That basket's for holding Azia's food, but on the morning of the show, all the apples that were in it had vanished. Poof! I totally forgot to mention it. Sorry. Disappearing apples. I should make a note of this. Maybe... because, like, I don't think 30 pounds would make him go yeet. But if you add all the apples, maybe? I don't know how much that weighs. It's the pen that held the Z, the Asian elephant, now empty as the lady herself is on stage. I wonder how they got her in here in the first place. What do you mean? Well, the entrance to the yard is people-sized. And there's things like a gazillion megawatts pumping through that fence. Kind of risky, right? Not if one turned off the electricity. Yeah, but then all the prisoners would escape. Through an entrance blocked by an elephant? I think not. This is a real puzzler, alright. I need to give it more thought. She seems to be enjoying the challenge. I'll leave her to it. This pond is home to the Warden LaGuardia's beloved alligator. And look, those bones must be from our latest meal. Someone doubt an alligator could pick a carcass clean like that. I get the feeling she was rather ladylike in her own way, actually. If you say so. Well, I do. I kind of have a sixth sense for these things. An interesting talent, though not one I'm particularly envious of. The chairs are lined up neatly for the show, though we know where a few empty seats were during the performance. Now something about this space, the way the seats are arranged, reminds me of a karaoke contest I entered as a kid. You entered a karaoke contest? I sure did, and I came in second, even in the depths of night, when no other bird dares to take flight. What alone soars to shine, the light of the righteous on the world's blight. Tell me you didn't actually sing that. I sure did. She did well to take second place, or perhaps stolen is more apt? Or is it more that she failed to steal first place? I'm overthinking this. So I think I've examined everything. So... let's see. So I'm gonna take a shot. These were all used to send him flying. The trick Mr. Saint performed for his big scene, could it have something to do with all the items we found by the well? Okay, I'd like to have another look at the equipment around the well from yesterday. Can you and Mr. Thief bring up the recreation from when they were tearing down the stage? You got it. It even teleported us. Taking another look at these items, could they not have been used for this trick of Mr. Saint's? Sounds plausible enough. Hey, I could maybe add it to the simulation. Good idea. Please go ahead and ask Mr. Saint for the details. Roger that, I'll be right back. And we never saw Kay again. I'm back and he told me exactly how he did it. Excellent. Well, how does it work? He said he used the pulley at the top of the well to suspend a heavy weight from the rope, and lowered that down into the well. The other end of the rope went through 2 more pulleys, and was tied around his body. I see, so he used the downward pull of the weight to help him launch himself into the air. But how did he make sure the weight only dropped when he wanted it to? He used a stake to stop it, that's how. Miss Berry didn't seem to know anything about the trick or the contraption he built for it, in which case I suppose it must have been Mr. Saint himself who pulled out the stake. Trying to do that, he used a second length of rope. He tied to the stake, and then when he gave it a sharp tug, the stake was released and the weight dropped down the well. It was a great trick. I have to steal it. This one has to go in the Great Thief's repertoire. It may not be quite that easy. These kind of circus tricks can require years of practice to master. Simply stealing the idea won't be enough. Alright, practice it is then. Well, before you run away to do so, would you mind updating the simulation? Alright, then we can see how it all worked for ourselves. Okay, I'm switching back to the recreation of the performance. And now to add in the data, Little Thief should be able to reproduce the trick now. So this is how Mr. Saint performed this trick. Simeon's full of surprises, huh? I mean, dropping a weight down the well to help him fly off stage like that, that's genius. Indeed, but I imagine he would have needed quite a lot of weight, more than him at the very least. It would have taken some serious pull to lift him into the air like that. And probably a ton of practice. Well, we have to wait. I don't know if it's 30 pounds doesn't seem to be enough. Wait, doesn't this seem odd to you? No? You haven't noticed, Detective? There's something strange about the weight we found. How heavy? The one weight on its own wouldn't be heavy enough, yeah. A single 30-pound weight couldn't have lifted Mr. Saint off the ground. Oh yeah. In which case, could there perhaps be some weights missing? Sounds like a job for my 7 secret weapons, sir. Should the need to use... Is he gonna do the fishing pole and see if they're at the bottom of the well? Oh, okay, maybe not. Do I have to talk to you? Whimper? It's as bad as it looks, sir. Poor little guy is scared out of his skin. I'd hope to have him track the scent again, but that clearly isn't in the cards right now. Whimper. Zia was on stage, so she can't be with the weight. The disappearing apples in the weight? Nope. That's not quite right. Need to reconsider the information at hand. Okay, so it's none of that then. I was actually hoping to speak to you. Don't say a word, sir. I know just what you're looking for. It's written all over your face. Is it? This one may be temporarily out of action, but my fishing... Okay, yeah, so we're gonna fish for more weights. Oh, and if you want to give the metal detector a shot, I have that too. I'll be sure to let you know if I need either of them, Detective. So that added something here. Use to find metal. So can I use this to find the weight? There we go. Detective, I have need of one of your secret weapons. Roger that. The metal detector, if you would be so kind. Ah, jeez, I'm never gonna get used to my fish. I'm never gonna get to use my fishing rod. So before we get started, let me run you through how the metal detector works, sir. It's simple enough. It uses the sound and this gauge. to tell you how close you are to something made of metal. The closer you get, the more strongly it'll react. When it starts going wild like this, just give me the order to examine the spot where I'm standing. Say, what do we have here? Oh, this fence. Anyway, that's how it all works. You tell me where you want me to look, sir, and I'll get right to it. Oh, I'm controlling him now. You have metal on you, girl? We're getting warmer, but it's still weak, sir, so not in there. Oh, he's probably picking up the basketball hoop. I got something. There's something here, sir. Oh, it's a gold coin, sir. What a find. It'll go down in history. I don't imagine a gold coin would stay hidden for long in a prison yard. Oh, you found it. Never would have guessed it was hiding there this whole time. That's one of the coins from the big coin hunt we hold once every 2 weeks. Oh, that sounds interesting. Must be fun for the whole family. Sure is. The prisoners have to hunt for the coins the warden buried around the yard. And if they find 3 silver coins or 1 gold coin, they can swap them for a jelly donut. First the show, now a treasure hunt. Is this a prison or a playground? Alright, let's get back to it. Sir, I'm picking up something over here. Let's take a look-see. Huh? Found these little guys in the grass. The same as the weights we found by the well. They must be from Mr. Saint's trick. Did someone hide these here on purpose? I count 4 altogether. That would be more than heavy enough to send him flying. So somebody hid several of the same weights as the one by the well, but why? And why over here? Yes, nice work, me. Eek! Alligator! That thing nearly gave me a heart attack. Huh? What's the matter, detective? It's the metal detector, sir. It's, reacting to the alligator. What? How? You sure it's not responding to the weights we just found? No, sir, I'm sure this is something different. And it's coming from the alligator. And she's gone. Ah, you scared that big snapper good. I don't think that's it, Kay. Huh? Then what is it? Allie hasn't been herself lately. That's the name, Allie, the warden's favorite pet. She wouldn't even look at the food Warden brought her yesterday. She was acting as if, I don't know, as if maybe she'd eaten something that didn't agree with her? Maybe the metal detector was responding to whatever she ate, sir. Oh no, what if she ate one of the weights? I highly doubt that even an alligator could swallow a 30-pound lump of iron. So what did the metal detector actually pick up? And why would someone hide these weights? Perhaps I missed something when I was looking at the equipment by the well. Okay, recreate the scene again. Scour the scene, inspect anything that catches my attention. Do I have to deduce something? Because I'm trying to find something here. Mr. Saint's trick.
Eureka!
This piece of evidence reveals a contradiction in the scene of the crime. The second rope. Gotta say, I don't get it either, sir. Well, if you look here... Oh, okay, never mind, I'm wrong. It's missing something. Let's see. Hold on, let me... Instead of deducing the well, what if I deduce the rope?
Eureka!
Think about the two recreations, the one during the performance and the one we're looking at right now. There's a major difference between the two, namely that one of the ropes is missing. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mr. Saint's trick wouldn't work with only the items we see before us. So what happened? Where did the missing rope go? I think one of the pieces of evidence we collected might tell us exactly that. Really? What shows us that where the missing rope went? Discovered on top of Knight's body.
Take that!
This rope was found beside Knight's body? Wait, you mean... Yes, it must have been the other rope used in Mr. Saint's trick. So you're saying, yes, that this rope did indeed have a weight attached to it. But it wasn't any of the iron weights we found. Those were hidden in the bushes and replaced with something else. So someone swapped the weights with, what's his name? Do that and you'll soon have the answer. The weight dropped down the well.
Take that!
It can only have been Knight's body that was dropped down the well. What? Knight's body was with the weight? Yeah, so somebody first swapped out the weights used for Mr. Saint's trick, then Mr. Saint used the contraption to make his exit from the stage. Then he let the rope around the body loose, and both the rope and Knight's body fell to the bottom of the well. That rope was never used to restrain Knight, it was used to suspend his body halfway down a well. From this we can easily see why most of the weights were hidden, so that no one would realize they'd been replaced with the body. Precisely. We can then further deduce that they were hidden by the killer. Whoa there, gang. Wasn't poor old Bronco stabbed in the neck? Wouldn't there be blood everywhere, including down the well? Oh, the killer thought that through, which is why they used this. The tarp.
Take that!
This tarp was found with the body. I think it's likely that Knight's corpse was wrapped around it. Ooh, another piece of the puzzle falls into place. It's all coming together now. Love it. But all we're doing is proving that the body did go down the well, which means we're helping prove that Simeon was the killer. No, not quite. What about what Judge Gavel said yesterday? Ah, but if Mr. Saint truly is the killer, why would he need to go to such lengths to commit his crime? That's true. Knight's body fell down the well when Mr. Saint used his contraption during the show. Therefore, it reveals nothing about where the real killer actually was, or what they were doing at the time. It's only designed to throw suspicion onto those who were not at the show. Yeah, I guess we did suspect Mr. Canish right away. That was the killer's goal. To make us think that the crime took place during the show. In other words, they used this well contraption to construct an alibi. Miss Berry, when exactly did Mr. Saint put his contraption together? It would have been the day before the show. The night before, actually. Yes, we started getting ready for the show at around 9 p.m. And I think we finished at around midnight. In which case, the killer must have switched the weights out for the body after that point. Did Candace know about this contraption? Even if he did, he wouldn't have been able to do much with it, and I highly doubt that he taught his dog to suspend bodies halfway down wells. Which means Candace isn't the killer. Well, what else do I have? Did these two connect? Did the elephant eat all the apples? Okay. The apples in the basket were likely eaten by Azia. Really? That's strange. I made sure to put the cart where her trunk couldn't reach them. Are you sure about that? Oh yes, it was still full of apples the night before the show. Then we must consider the possibility that the cart was moved somewhere within Azia's reach. A large basket full of apples couldn't have been moved by the wind, which likely means somebody moved it for a reason. So before the show had even started, the cart had been moved and its apples eaten. Yes, that seems to be the most probable timeline. Let's update the recreation, K. Do. Updating the data. There, all done. Little wonder it smelled of animals. It was being used for the elephant. To hold Azia's apples, right? Yep. It was full of them the day before the show, so they vanished overnight. Oh, did you figure something out, Mr. Edgeworth? Quite possibly. Use that to move the body. The basket was moved the night before the circus performance, and we've deduced that the weights were switched out for the body at around the same time. Hard to chalk that up to coincidence. Then the next question we should be asking is, why was the cart moved? I think I can hazard a guess. The cart would have been blocking that door, which can only mean that somebody needed to open it. Now let's see what's... Oh, great. It's locked. Let me ask a guard for help. Hey, Mr. Guard. Yes, miss? What can I do for you? That was fast. Guard, where is the key for this door? Oh, the warden keeps hold of that. I'll go ask her for it. Warden McGuardy is the only one with a key. Meaning if somebody did open the door, they would have had to get it from her somehow. Thanks for the help. Look at all these breakers. They must control the electricity for the whole prison. So we're thinking somebody got in here the night before the show, right? But why? What were they trying to do? Well, I doubt they came here by mistake thinking it was a break room. They must have had come to tamper with the switches. Which is why the security cameras are off by 3 hours. They turned off the power to something. When you think of it, wasn't there something that lost power? What might have lost power? Yeah, the security cameras.
Take that!
There was a 3-hour gap in the security camera footage. Oh yeah, there was. So somebody flipped the breaker it was connected to. It seems very likely. You think it was the killer? It's true that shutting off the cameras would have made things easier for them. It would, which means the killer would have had to be someone who had access to the breakers, and it seems only one person has the key. It couldn't be, could it? Alright, little thief, your work here is done. So was that... is it the warden? First on the scene, the early bird wins the worm. Good morning, Mr. Winter. What? You? How'd you get here before me? Good morning, Mr. Edgeworth. I see you've made an early start. And I see you've made a late one, Judge Gavelle. This is not my only case. I'm a very busy woman. Not all of us enjoy the freedom of a prosecutor relieved of his only current responsibility. Oh, I do apologize. I meant, of course, an associate attorney. Associate, more like asinine. We'll see about that. Eustace, let us begin the investigation of the yard. Okay, I'll go get some officers to help. That won't be necessary. Why not? We've already finished investigating the yard, and won quite the prize in the process. Well, won? But I'm supposed to be the winner. Your Honor, I'd like to revisit your theory from yesterday, in order to thoroughly disprove it. I would caution you to choose your words carefully, Mr. Edgeworth. As I am sure you remember, your badge is in my hands. How could I forget? You've told me several dozen times already. Perhaps you'd care to try a different threat. You have been warned repeatedly, yes, and each time my words seem to have fallen on deaf ears. Allow me to make this crystal clear. The committee cannot and will not tolerate insubordination.
Objection!
The fate of my badge and the whims of the committee are of no concern to me now. The only thing that concerns me is proving Simeon Saint's innocence. Interesting. And spoken like a true defense attorney. In that case, I shall be equally uncompromising. In the name of the goddess of justice, I will strike down your case without mercy. And when I am done, your career as a prosecutor will be over as well. I hope you do not come to regret this. Well, this showdown is going to go down next time. Bye-bye.